the pseudo tank mechanic. So let's see if
5 seconds
Evos
till the
SG
enemy
can
reaches the
pull
battlefield.
off
Smash
another
them.
split type
All
siege
troops deploy.
strategy. All troops deploy. Here we go into the Celestial Palace. Zens will be using the carry. Boom as the Kaja. Watt as the Kichango. Ateb as the Tams, and Paragon as the Valir.
Evos Esports SG, you have Jao PL on this rock. You have Odir Bambi on this Harriet. It's going to be Ace on the Hylos. It's Potato on the Kimi, and Soul with this Batang.
And I like this coming in from Evos SG. Immediately going to the Shocker to get the blue buff, and well, they will give it to Odir Bambi. Same goes for Impunity KH, but that is the defense coming in from Evos SG.
What a wall! What a wall from the Badari. They do have the damage. Shango is down for the count now. Atef actually forced in here. The Kimi is here, as well as the Harith. And we were talking about the early game potential of Evos Esports SG. Oh man, they are dominating Impunity KH right now. I don't understand why Impunity KH chose to actually contest this immense amount of damage from Evos SG.
And Atef, he actually got the blue Shocker, but that was indeed a waste of time as he dies 2-0 for the side of Evos SG, immediately controlling the first 2 minutes of this matchup.
And they're not done. They want to go with Paragon. Paragon is down for the count. Got Tabs to defend that. But this is a level 4 Odir Bambi Harriet and a level 3 Badang. You cannot defend on your own.
Under a minute and 30 seconds. Right now, Evos SG, they can go for tower dives like this.
Sense.
That is the pressure and the tension
Turtle
for this
resurrecting
M1 contenders, Evos SG.
We are talking about the potential of the Hylos plus
Kimi.
the Kimi pick. And we can dare say that this is proving to be a great control of the early game. Look at this, 6.4k gold already up for Evos SG, and only 4.2k for Impunity KH.
Oh my.
This is not good at all from the Cambodians.
Oh my, yes, you are exactly right. As the first turtle will go to the side of Evos SG and Team Impunity KH. Man, the carry right now, Zens, will have a hard time in getting his first item. He will actually go for a mask play.
Yeah.
Because of the delay he has. Man, 1k on the pockets of this carry. Plus, this is the second rotation of the objectives, and this is another invade. Man, Evos SG repelling Impunity KH from getting all of these buffs.
But they did punish the heart this time. The Floor Path is going to be used. They take out the Kaja this time. Pattern Inferno completed by the task, but the Kimi is here. The Grok falls, but it doesn't matter. There's a Super 2 trade. Ultimate coming out from the Badang. Sense is going to be not going to have a good problem this time. But of course, Soul overextending himself.
But the objective was to get the blue buff, and Watt neglecting that for the side of Evos SG. So, what an outplay coming in from team Impunity KH. That was actually a clutch block from the Grok, but it gave space to for Watt to hit all of the major showers.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of recovery from Impunity KH as they diminish the lead by just about 1,500 coming up from 2,000. Then again, Evos SG, they cannot commit to go. They cannot be overly committing against their opponents, Impunity KH, because while it's true that they have the early game control, they cannot lose it. The moment that they give the control to Impunity KH, they will be forfeiting the mid game, which means that they will find it hard to close out the game. You have to take note, Impunity KH, they have amazing late game potential courtesy of their carry and the Valir, and actually the Chango is a very strong hero in the late game.
Of course, the Valir can transition onto on that carry time and time again. We've witnessed the taking time bomb of this gaming composition, but right now Odir Bambi with the circus tricks of dashes taking off Mr. Paragon. So space created once again for Team Evos SG as they will now get the second turtle of the game.
Indeed, taken by Evos SG. We know that they have the strength in terms of taking this turtle. I have to take note, by the way, that the Retribution is not available for any player in the whole game
No
that we have
time,
right
no
now.
time.
So there is no retribution play that we can get. That's why they are actually finding it hard to close out the kills on important buffs. But whoever controls the area around that buff or that objective actually wins the battle. It's gonna be Odir Bambi to take it.
And man, third round of
Oh,
bombs
nice
taken by the side of Evos SG. Nice wild charge right there from the Grok, and the pressure is now on as change of plans for Evos SG. They will now go for the 5-on-5. That is the initiation from the Glorious Pathway, plus 1,000 punches from the Badang, shutting down 2 heroes from Impunity KH and destroying the first tower of the game.
Talk about area control coming out from Evos SG. They have the Glorious Pathway, they have the Salmon Force, then they have the Badang. Whatever it is, whatever kind of terrain they want to play into, they are committing against Impunity KH, and they are winning against them because, again, they control the area, the small area, and nobody from Impunity KH can fight under that territorial control of Evos SG.
Controlling that narrow space, and of course, this is the first Calamity Reaper from Oh Dear Bambi. So that is his power spike. Can now take 1 versus 2 fights. And meanwhile, Evos SG, of course, with the Badang in their lineup, they can now go for the split push play.
With the help of the Grok, they are able to take out that turret on the bottom. It's just 6 minutes in, but already Evos SG have amassed 21,000 gold in the bank.
Quite large.
Quite large at this point. And now, how can Impunity
Turtle
defend against this?
soon.
They have to go for the defense on the bottom lane. They have to take care of the top, and they also have to take care of the mid lane. There's just so much for them to do and take care of that Evos SG are just way too good into abusing this kind of
And
advantage
they are punishing right now. Ladies and gentlemen, that is another Glorious Pathway from AC, and they will immediately back off as they will get another objective, and probably the third tower in the top lane. That is the second tower in the mid lane, uncontested. The turtle is open, but Impunity KH, they are trapped within their base.
And it's just 7 minutes and 30 seconds in. We were talking about the advantage of Evos SG in the early game, and they are not disappointing us this time. Evos SG, they're also taking the buffs. They've already taken the buff in the top lane. Now in the bottom lane as well. Wild Charge to initiate with this. Ultimate from, of course, the Badang. No kill whatsoever, but they will tank the Meteor Shower.
Lots of ultimates missing right here. This is the opportunity for Impunity KH
what a block!
to get back, but nice block onto the carry. He does have the Phantom Step to get out, but 10-4 is the score. Another opening for Evos SG.
You saw a little bit of nice combo in there from the Grok and the Hylos. When the Glorious Pathway is already laid down, you put the Guardian's Barrier on the end so that your opponents will not be able to escape. Unfortunately for Evos SG, they did not take advantage of it just because they don't really want to be overly aggressive against their opponents.
Yes,
Which is the right decision at this point.
they're just making the right decisions, and of course, the discipline from Evos SG. We've seen this in game number 1. They know their capabilities. They know when to fight, and they know when to take objectives. An open Lord, a free one for the taking for the Singaporean team, as Hylos will backs out all of their opponents. He will die, but that is an exchange for the Lord. 10-6, and they will just wait for this Lord buff to come in.
2 kills in exchange for the Lord. I think Evos SG are happy to take that kind of trade. They still lead by 9,000 and almost 10,000 if they do force out their opponents into committing in the next coming clash. You have to take note, the Grok is already available with a classic build. Going for the rapid boots into the Athena shield. This is such classic because you know what they do with the Groks this time? They go for a courage mask, complete it before actually completing your boots, and then go for no Athena shield at all. And what you do is use the Guardian's Barrier to actually delay the Lord.
But right now they do have the lead, so I think he went for that classic build. As you've said, this is the first Lord of the game, but Evos SG will just give this away. They're waiting for their course to get the blue, but still the pressure is on the side of Impunity KH. They don't have enough damage to deal with the Grok right now, Grok is just too confident to man up all of these heroes from Impunity KH. They are now entering and knocking at the doors of Impunity KH, destroying another tower.
The tower has been destroyed. There's going to be the Divine Judgment, but Harriet's still alive. Actually escapes. No, the Meteor Shower able to close him out. Now, where will Evos SG fight once more? The top lane has already been destroyed. And onto the bottom, a little bit of pressure. There's a big cannon, a big minion down the bottom, courtesy of the Lord buff.
Yep.
Evos SG, how will they utilize this?
This is the Kimi damage that they've been looking for. Evos SG, man, half health here coming in from the Daya. Another Ghost Pathway. Phantom stepping in for Mr. Zens. Two heroes falling down for the side of Evos SG. They will now go for the disengage and nice outplay and pick up for the side of Impunity KH. Ateb still wants more, still finding heroes, but they will just back away.
Very nice usage of the Meteor Shower to actually fend off the members of Evos Esports SG. We talked about how important having the range against your opponents and the damage as well.
Yep.
With the Meteor Shower. You saw even the Lord melt against the Chango as well as the other members of Evos Esports SG.
But again, that is just level 1 Lord, and this is the Kimi taking time bomb, as we said, from the side of Evos SG. But again, discipline is the name of the game for this team. They don't want any clash. They're just hoping for an outplay. Impunity KH, like what you've said, carry can shut down everyone, even Zhao PL. Plus, there is the threat of the Divine Judgment onto the Meteor Shower. So I do feel that for the side of the carries of Evos SG, Kimi and Carry needs to be very careful.
And you have to be also smart about how you approach this if you're Evos SG, because your lineup, your strength has an expiration date.
Yes.
As longer the game goes, you want Impunity KH to be favored because of the fact that they have the carry and the Chango.
Yep.
But Evos SG, they still have plenty of time to work with. It's still 12 minutes in, and they've already shoved the top lane, already took out the inhibitor in the top lane, and they still have control of the map at this point.
They need to build Athena Shield right now in order for them to soak up lots of damage from coming in from Watts and coming in from the Valir, because they're having a hard time due to the fact that Team Impunity KH has the spam mechanic. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, Team Evos Esports SG forcing themselves into the mid lane. I do feel that they need to go back to the play that they have earlier at game number 1. Bait the Glorious Pathway and let Impunity KH go all out, use the Divine Judgment and bait all of the skills that they have.
But what is happening right now is that Evos SG, they're doing what they did in terms of taking the first Lord. This time though, the full cavalry from Impunity KH is here. They're trying to force this one out. Potato, as well as the Harriet from Odir Bambi, they're taking care of business in this Lord take.
They're taking a long time.
Taking a long time indeed. They don't have retribution, by the way.
They don't have retribution. Here we go. Poor
Oh!
man! The 1,000 punches from the Badang taking down one. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes another Sandman Force, and that is a V
Oh my
from
goodness!
the map. And what nice block coming in from the Grok. The Grok block is just so real right now for Team Evos Esports SG.
And I think the Grok deserves that double kill after, of course, landing that good Guardian's barrier. But talk about Evos SG just using the Badang and the Terran to actually take out the members of Impunity KH.
And we were wrong. Team Evos Esports SG taking game number 2 and winning the series. They will now have 3 points.